Hey, welcome to another edition of Lee's Open Mic, and today our guest is the very funny and an old friend of mine, Mike Armstrong, who many of you know from Bob and Tom, but Mike's backstory is that he was a cop at one time. And Mike just gave me one of the greatest lines. Well, if you want to really mess with one of your buddies, when you get him in front of his wife.
I asked him when he started wearing a wedding band. I've never seen you wear one.
I've always worn my wedding band.
That thing is like Mr. T Gold, big, and I've never seen you wear it.
But this is great. I'm going to use this against some of my buddies when I get them in front of their wife. We'll just start wearing that wedding band. I love it.
He gets on TV, he's got to wear the wedding band.
That's not true. Any of this. He's a liar.
How come you don't tan that one part of your finger?
Yeah. All right, Mike. So when did this all begin? Because this really is true. You were a police officer one time.
I started doing open mics, and it was really weird. I was doing like just open mics, and Showtime picked me up right off the reel, like 6 months into open mics.
Now that's unusual.
Yeah, I thought it was too, and I told them, I said, I'm not good enough to go on Showtime. And they go, you only need 7 minutes, and I go, I ain't really got 7 minutes, and they put me on there, and it worked out, and then I started working for
At
CMT.
the time, were you doing this is my life sort of bits about being a cop?
I never talked about being a cop until I was on Bob and Tom, and somebody called them and said, hey, tell them about that time you shot that guy's finger off. Right. And then they go, you shot a guy's finger? I go, well, I was on the police department. And then it went from there, and then all of a sudden, they have me on all the time. Before you know it, I'm known as the ex-cop on the Bob and Tom show,
right? Which
is a blessing. Because,
sure.
Oh yeah, because once people know you, most people don't even know what I look like. They know my laugh,
yeah,
and they know that I'm will shoot you and stuff.
But so let's talk about that for a minute, because the influence Bob and Tom has had on regional comics, especially guys who maybe hadn't got the shot yet on a national stage, all of a sudden they provide another venue, and guys like you, Greg Warren, Greg Hahn, all my buddies, they start making pretty good money and at least getting appearances.
I called my house the house that Bob and Tom built. Yeah. You know, I mean, Bob and Tom are just like the greatest guys in the world. And I mean, after I started going on there regular and everybody started knowing who I was, I got HBO, I got Comedy Central, I got 2 CMT specials. Tom produced my first CD, which I made buku bucks on, and he wouldn't take a penny of it. He goes, I got plenty of money, you take it. And I mean, it was really weird because, I mean, we sold like, before we even cut the CD, he said, Mike's CD's coming out in 2 weeks. Pre-sales 10,000 that day.
Wow. Yeah.
$20 a pop.
And he's not taking a cut.
He's not taking a penny because he just wants to help people.
Yeah.
And I can't say enough good things about Bob and Tom. I mean, they're the greatest people that ever walked the face. And Chick and Christy and everybody, they're just nice people.
You've been doing this how long now?
About 22 years.
22 years. And Mike, I mean, I'm telling you, I've worked with you a lot. You
know,
you and I go on the road. We've been to some places. But I am telling you, man, you got as good at crowd control as anybody I've ever met. And here's the thing, because you're a paid ticket. You're a destination for most audiences. They're there to see you.
Right.
But there is something about the confidence level that you got, and it's a lot of misdirection, and people just eat it alive.
You know, and it's weird because I'm PG. I don't cuss or talk about sex. But if you listen to my act, I'm cruel.
Yeah.
I'm very cruel, but I do it in a way that people clap. You know, I say, I mean, I got this one joke. I go, yeah, I'm up in Michigan to see my girlfriend. Of course, they have a blizzard, and I hit a deer, cleverly disguised as a snowmobiler. And I go, and they're mean when you clip them. He come running at me. I had to put him down. I go, but he was sick anyway, skinny, had a big black bubble thing. I guess it was a tumor. I don't know. And people are clapping. I just killed a snowmobiler.
Right. But there is a way that it's the deadpan delivery, it's the misdirection, and it's a lot of fun for audiences. And you've mastered that as good as anybody.
When I first walk up, I demand that they listen, because I make them applaud for that. I go, they can still hear you. Applaud. I said clap. Right. And then they go, and I've already controlled at that point.
Right.
And I learned that right off the reel. You know, I guess it's from the police thing where you
I was going to ask you
raise your voice a little bit and be stern, and then they listen. You can be nice.
Yeah, I was going to ask if that any sort of, because you have stage presence, and if that any sort of that authoritative training, it translates to the stage. Yeah. I guess it does.
And plus, when I'm on stage, I pretend I'm in my driveway talking to my best friends.
Right.
And I can say whatever I want to, and they're not going to get mad. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I had a couple last night that were, I mean, they were like in their 60s, and they looked like college professors or church-going people. By the time it was over with, turns out they're freaks. And he likes to pretend he's a puppet.
Oh, really? You got that out of him? Yeah. Yeah.
He likes to pretend he's a dummy, and she's a ventriloquist. It was really weird.
Wow. I'm not going to ask you about the hand or anything.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Where does that go? So, Mike, here's the thing. A lot of people.
You have the same way. You got that voice that controls.
Yeah, maybe. But again, well, and I don't know. Maybe we do have something in common. You and I are both height challenged.
Yeah.
So whatever they want to call it, Napoleon complex or whatever.
You know what? I don't have that. I've always been the leader.
I don't. But well, me too. But in the back of your mind, did you ever figure out? I wonder why these guys listen to me?
Because you use authority. I mean.
But there's a bluff mechanism in there.
Yeah, because when I was younger and I'd go out and there'd be like 15 of us, most of them played football and all this other stuff.
Same deal.
And they go, Mike's ready to leave. You know.
I know, and they go. And
yeah.
It's odd. I mean, you see it in the canine world. When the Chihuahua is telling the St. Bernard, we're doing this. Okay, that's what we're doing. I never understood why that works, but there is a magic to it, which I take advantage of.
I never wanted to challenge big guys because I know whatever they hit, it's going to break.
Right. Well, me either. But I'm not going to be denied my will. Yeah. We're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to back down. You're going to have to kill me, and then you better hope I don't wake up and come looking for you.
Yeah. But, there's guys like you that maybe audiences don't know, that, don't get the heat. They're not young. Hollywood may not be looking at them at the moment, but they're good. They'll give you the best show you've ever seen. Mm-hmm. You got your Bob Batches out there, your Mark Kleins, all these guys that have been at it for a while. That is the best show money can buy. And,
people that get us come out. I have a very loyal fan base.
Oh, you do, yeah.
And I mean, all over the country. And I truly, and I say this all the time, I don't get it. Because I really just don't get it. Yeah. And I always tell everybody, I'm a step above a knock-knock, man. No, here's a knock-knock, here's me,
ridiculous. No, it's a good show. I love watching you work. Now, give me a bad gig. Well, give me a horror story. What have you been through out there?
Oh, I've been through so many of them. Some of the funny ones was when I first started out, I was featuring for a magician.
Yeah.
And we're at, remember the old Finney Bones in Owensboro, and it was tiered like Vegas?
I didn't work that when I heard about it.
Monster stage, tiered like Vegas, great room. And I go up and I do my 30, and it goes real good. And then the magician comes out, and he's doing his little, whatever. Yeah. And he pulls the dove out and goes, and the place is full of ceiling fans. And I was like, now, dove is flying everywhere. And people think it's part of the act, like he's going to put the dove back together and they're clapping.
Oh, my God.
And he's going, no, Buffy's dead.
What's he going to do? Yeah, his show's over now.
I'm in the back dying.
Yeah.
And then one night, remember Gary Fields up in Battle Creek?
I've heard that name.
Some guy just broke up with his girlfriend. He walks up on stage, he's featuring, and he pulls out a book, and he's got a little bow, and he cuts his hand open and starts throwing this stuff in there and setting it on fire and doing a voodoo curse or something on his girlfriend.
What?
Yeah.
This is the comic that's
making... So the owner runs up and goes, get off the stage, get off the stage. The place is packed. He goes, you ready for your headliner? So he brings me up, and I bring up a bow. And I got a knife, and I go, I just broke up with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Everybody laughed.
Yeah.
The guys in the back and EMS had to come and take him.
Yeah.
You see all kinds of weird
I should have
stuff.
known better than to ask you. I knew it was going dark. Yeah. Mike Armstrong, listen, if you ever get a chance to go see, he's one of the, it's a top-notch show.
That.
You're always going to have a good
Me
time.
and you always have a good time.
We always do. We'll be out there.
People don't get it, man. You got to have a good time. These young
Right.
comics are like, ooh, this is art. No, if a monkey could talk, we'd be out of a job.
Yeah, monkeys are pretty funny without talking, if you think about
Especially
it.
when they do this.
Yeah. Hey, guys, thanks for watching this edition of Lee's Open Mic. See you later.